Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tim, and today I am continuing my playthrough of Normandy 44. Yes, it's been quite a while since I've played this. Finally getting back around to finishing up this campaign. We're currently on turn 9. And before we get started, I have one correction that I need to make from earlier in the playthrough. When I was getting ready to jump back in, I reread through the rule book, and as I did, I came across a section that I had completely forgotten about regarding a couple of special units. And it is the withdrawal of the U.S. Rangers and the 4th Special Service Brigade. Excuse me. So at the start of each allied player turn, you're supposed to check to see if the conditions for their removal apply. And if they do, then they just get removed with no penalty. The conditions are, for the Ranger battalions, if there are no German units within 4 hexes of Pointe du Hoc, then they get removed. And as you can see, that is certainly the case and has been for a while. I checked back, and here's Pointe du Hoc here. No German units within 4 hexes. I looked back through the recordings and found that on turn 5 is when this actually should have happened. So we're going to go ahead and correct that now, though. I don't believe anything has been really drastically affected. I mean, they're just 1 strength units, and they can only defend. So, I mean, I guess there's a possibility. I didn't go back and look to see if any of the combats where they were on the defense, the odds might have changed, but I'm not really going to worry too much about it. So those are gone. The other that it mentions, whoops, just took out a bunch of stuff. Let's see if we can get this fixed. They were on top because they're not actually disrupted. All right, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by myself being a klutz, let's try this again. The other is the 4th Special Service Brigade. It gets removed if there are no German units, and you can ignore strong points within 4 hexes of, and again, I don't know the correct pronunciation of this, but we'll try, Armanches-la-Bain, which is where their mulberry is currently. Now, for them, I went back and checked. They were actually eliminated on turn 2 as a result of a successful determined defense by the Germans that caused a step loss on the attacker, and I chose to take it on them. So that was not an issue. But just so you're aware, they are also removed under that those circumstances. All right. Let's get right into things here then, now that we have that straightened out. We're going to start with the initial phase, determine weather. So last turn was a clear 5, which was great for the Allies. Let's see if they can get something equally as good this time. 3, not quite. Overcast. Okay. Nothing for mulberry construction, Both of the mulberries are completed and have been for a little while. So next is receive supply points and replacements. So we need to check on the weather table to see what we get, what each side gets in Overcast 3. So we're going to be looking at this line here. So the Germans are allowed to build 2 improved positions. We'll get a couple of those markers out for them, just so they're available. They get 2 supply points. And I think we'll just go ahead and give 1 to each. 1 each to the 7th Army and the Fortress Cherbourg. 1 infantry replacement and no armor replacements. For the Americans, we're looking at 1 infantry replacement, no armor replacement. Same for the British, 1 and none. Canadians don't get any replacements, and then we get 1 air unit on each side and 2 naval units on each side, and we do get our supply points. So both naval. Yeah, both naval, 1 air for each side. See if we can do this way. Whoops. That works, I guess. And I don't know if I just never used those last turn or what happened there, but looks like we didn't use 2 of our air support and 1 of our naval support for the British last turn. Not sure why. Okay. Well, the naval was probably because there wasn't anything. And we're getting to the point now where there's very few places where naval support can be used, so that's not that surprising. All right, and then our supply points, and I want to double check, but I believe we get 2 each now that the mulberries are constructed. Where are we at here? Supply points 5.0. Allied supply points. Yeah, prior to mulberry construction, they each get 1. During overcast and clear, once the mulberries are completed, they each get 2. And then also additional supply points can be brought in with reinforcement points for a cost of, I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 replacement points to bring in a supply point. All right, so I don't think we're at the point where we can afford to spend those on supply points. We need the reinforcements. But each army is going to get 2 supply points. Each allied army. And I think that's it for that step. All right, then we ready all, excuse me, in supply, headquarters, and Werfer brigades. So any Werfer brigades that fired, I think they just have the 1. It would get flipped back over, but it's already flipped over. I think I took out this stack as well. And then any headquarters that moved more than 1 hex, which would have gotten flipped. That one's fine. That one is okay. Trying to remember where all their headquarters are. There's the airborne headquarters for the Germans. It's already on its face, the SS one. I thought they had one up here somewhere. Yes, there, the Cotentin headquarters. Looks like all of their headquarters are up. Ours probably are as well. I'm making sure I only move them 1 hex per turn so that we can utilize them for artillery shifts. Speaking of which, another thing I realized in rereading the rules is that the Allies are allowed to use 2 artillery shifts per combat, and I'm not sure I realized that during my playthrough of the first 9 turns. May have been some cases where I might have wanted to do that to get some extra punch, so we'll definitely keep that in mind. All right, that's going to take us to the German player turn, starting with the replacement phase. And for turn 9, they only get 2 units, both from 2nd Panzer, and they come in on a yellow entry hex, so along the southeastern edge here. Let's think about where we might want them to help reinforce. I think I was looking at the situation here before I got back into things here, just to kind of refresh my memory on and kind of make some preliminary plans on what to try to do. And I think this area over here is kind of in jeopardy of the Allies kind of sliding things around to try to, because Caen's pretty much, that's going to be a really tough nut to crack there. So I think as the Allies, it probably makes sense to try to swing around and kind of cut things off from, start to threaten an envelopment here. So I think the Germans need to be concerned about that and start getting some more stuff over into this area, because we're looking at, what do we got here? Just some pretty weak units here holding this flank. And this is a pretty strong stack, but they're not tied in with a Zachbahn to these guys, so we're free to infiltrate through here. So yeah, with that in mind, we got this Tiger tank that came in last turn that's making his way over that direction, as well as this other 2nd Panzer unit. So yeah, it probably makes sense to keep these guys together. So I would say that coming in here into Falaise makes the most sense. So they'll be coming in from here. Sorry, a little off camera there, almost. All right, so that's our reinforcements. Then we go to the German movement phase. So these guys can move, it's overcast, so let's see how that affects their road movement. They are mechanized units, right? Yep. So on primary roads, they only spend 1/3 of a movement point and half on secondary roads. So they're going to be able to get pretty far with their 6 movement. So this is a primary road, so they can go at 1/3 of a point along there. So 1, 2, 2 2/3, and then 3 2/3, 4 2/3, 5 2/3. They can get into there. I think we'll just put both of them there. That'll help bolster this this line over here, because now we do have a Zachbond there. Whoops. Almost off camera again. So yeah, from here, and they're allowed to enter this flooded hex as long as they stay on the road, which they did. Now the bad thing is, I think they get some excuse me, negative modifiers for defending in a flooded hex, maybe. Flooded hex. Where's flooded hex? Oh, here it is. Attacker halved plus 1 left shift. It's in parentheses though, and star. What's the star mean? Shift left only applies if all units in the map are attacking across out of a flooded hex or any combination of those. Okay, so I think it's only affects us if we're attacking out of the flooded hex. I don't think defending. Oh, no, here it is. The parentheses means the attacker is not halved nor suffers a column shift when attacking into, only when attacking out of one. So this is only in effect when attacking out of a flooded hex. So, all right. Let's see what else we want them to do. I think our disrupted markers are going to come off at the end of this, right? During the recovery phase, yeah. So I think these guys are fine here. They have a Zachbond here to the coast. Allies can't get around us that way. They can't go into this hex now. Not that they would really want to. Not to do an attack from anyway. Let's see if there's anything else. What we want to do. All these guys have +1 troop quality too. That's nice. We probably want to get this up into here to provide some anti-tank to prevent them getting a tank shift, although I don't think you get a tank shift into flooded. Do you? Maybe you do. It's not noted on the terrain effects. Oh, here it is. Armor shift possible for attacker. No. Okay. So they wouldn't be getting a tank shift into there anyway, but let's see. Which the one thing I was thinking about too as I was analyzing stuff before I got back into playing here. This anti-tank unit doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in the city hex of Khan because you can't get a tank shift attacking into a city hex anyway. I mean, they are providing 3 extra strength, but as long as we're at 10, the best the allies are going to be able to do is a 1-to-1 against us anyway, and we've got 7 there, plus I think the city gives us 5. Yeah, so this guy's kind of being wasted sitting here in Khan. And technically so is this. Other than if we wanted to launch an attack out of it, it would give us some potential tank shift. I'm thinking maybe we pull this guy out. He can't go across. There's no road there to that hex. Can the flak units, those are considered mechanized, I think. What does it say? Replacement type. Applicable. Let me find this real quick. All right, yes, indeed, those are classified as mechanized units. And the reason I was questioning that is for checking on movement across a major river. So both mechanized and non-mechanized can cross an unbridged major river hex side as long as they begin their movement next to it. And the first move is to cross it. That costs an extra movement point. So they'd have to spend a movement point to break the EZOC, or break the ZOC, because they're in an EZOC. Not to break it, but to move away from out of it. I think that's one. Just confirming that as well. Yeah, one extra movement point to exit an EZOC. And they have 5 movement, which I just realized I think I was looking at the wrong number on these units for their movement. It's only 5, not 6. 6 is their attack dummy. So they actually have to stop back here, it looks like, which that's overstacked then. So we need to move these guys up first. These guys will have to stop here. So these guys have 5, so it would be 3 movement just to go to there. But then they can move along the road using mechanized movement value. So there's nowhere to cross there because they can't. If they move up into here, they'd have to stop because they'd be moving into an EZOC again. They can't because it's overstacked, obviously. So we'd have to come all the way down to here then to get across this way. But I'm just thinking they'll probably be more useful out over in here. In fact, is this, whoops. They've already got a silhouetted unit there. They're still within stacking. We can't get to that spot anyway. But yeah, I'm just thinking we'll get them moving down this way. So it'd be 1, 2, 3 to get to this intersection. That would take them to 4. And then they could just get across the river there. Let's do that. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're in range there, but I think we want to start having this headquarters make its way over this way. Because we have the con artillery here already for anything within 3 hexes of con. Let's make sure we can cover this region out here if necessary. All right, so they've moved. These guys have moved. Oh, we do still have these tigers here too. Let's see there. We could put them in here with this because 1 silhouetted unit can stack for free. So let's do that. I got plenty of movement to make it up there. I think these guys are fine where they are. I want them to hold. I think this guy is probably better used elsewhere. This stack, I think we need to pull back to here because he's getting in danger of getting cut off here, I think. I'm going to pull them back to here. So got some anti-tank there. We have armor there. Anti-tank here. Ooh, this is getting kind of precarious down in here. Yeah, I think we start having this guy make his way down. So we got to spend an extra to leave. This is all major roads, so that's 1 plus 1 is 2. And then 2 1/3. 3 1/3. 4 1/3. You can get to there. This one already moved. Yeah, I think we need to kind of, I don't know if we can continue trying to hold Villers Bocage there. Need to get, fortunately I think we're gonna have to give up some ground here to kind of to seal this off, so I think we move. I guess they can stay there as long as we can get someone into this spot. So I think these guys can fit that bill. This is Panzer Lair unit. Where are his buddies at? There's some airborne units. These are a bunch of really low value units, yeah, and some bicycles. Just thinking, because this guy we could move these 2 units back to here, you know, coming around this way. And then so that'll seal that off there. Probably should just get all this stuff stacked together here. That one already moved, so he can't, but that at least gives us something there. Other than that cadre. We got here, that's a pretty decent stack. We do need to pull these Werfers back. I need to check. I think they can move and still fire, even if they use their full movement value. Yeah, they can move and still stay on their unfired side. So we probably want them to come back. They only have a range of 3 hexes, so probably back to here would be a good spot for them. Okay, then I do have my truck and some strap move markers. The third one's up on a unit already. I don't know if he'll be using it again, but we'll see. Don't think we're going to need to do any strap moves. These two couldn't have used strap move because they started in an EZOC. If there's any others that aren't currently next to a unit that we want to get moving somewhere far, we could potentially do that. All right, so we need to figure out what to do with this guy. I'm wondering where the rest of Panzer Lair is. There's one here. Yeah, looks like 2 of them are here. So yeah, it probably makes sense to get him moving around that away. So he's going to go, it's going to take an extra to move out of the EZOC, so 2, 3, 4, 5. He can get into St. Lo. Problem is we need somebody there. Because we were going to have these guys come and join with them. We need somebody in Carmont, though. Carmont. There's no R there. Maybe we leave them there for now, just to cover that. Although that makes them a big, kind of a big target. Actually, you know what we could do? Instead of moving these guys, I think they were here. Or maybe this cadre unit. Who do they belong to? That's, oh, they're part of Panzer Lair also. So yeah, I think maybe we truck them, or actually, can they make it on their own? 1, 2. Yeah, they can't be trucked, they're mechanized. Yeah, so these guys can make it over and link up with them. That'll make that a decent stack, because I got 4 plus 2 is 6, and I think the town provides 4. Which puts them at that magic number of 10. So then what do we want to do with these guys? Where's their unit at? They're at the 352nd. Is that part of that mobilization? No, that's 709th and 243rd. See where their buddies are. Not there. They might not have any. They were a unit that started the game on the map. I don't know if they have any reinforcements that came in for them. Not seeing any. Yeah, so I think they were just one of the units that were up here initially. Where could they be best utilized? So they could go in this stack to help fortify that. Let's just do that. Okay. I think we're good over here in that sector. Here we've got 6 plus the bocage gives 3, I think. Yeah, so they're just short of 10. Improved position here. Actually means we don't need the flak, right? So you get no tank shift against an improved position. Correct. We could get them over to here, see if they can reach. That'll give us the 1 we need to get to 10. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. Nope, can't go into their EZOC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Speaking of strong points, we got 2 that we could start building. I think it has to be an infantry unit that hasn't moved. In supply, non-disrupted infantry type unit that does not move. May begin construction. NIP. So, these guys are disrupted, so they can't. But we do have some infantry class units here that haven't moved. So why don't we go ahead and start one there. Got this one that's going to finish this turn. As long as they're, yep, they're still in there. Where else? Probably up here, because this is where the Allies have really been pushing to try to, because they're having a hard time getting across this river, so they've been trying to punch through up here. Oh, that's already a strong point. Never mind. Guess we could start one here. Let's do that. These guys, I believe, can go ahead and finish theirs. Start the owning player's next movement phase. The IP is completed. Yeah, so this was completed at the start of the movement phase. I think you can't attack out of an IP and it's under construction side. It doesn't say that the units in the one that just finished construction can't move, so I think they're free to move out if we wanted to. I don't think we will. So there's that. Oh yeah, this guy we were trying to get him swung around here to provide some more support out that way, which I think we need to actually move him. It's going to take too long just going 1 hex at a time. I think we're going to want them around in this area maybe. We're going to move these guys up 1 hex that way. So they'll be able to support attacks up in here. We want to get the first SS headquarters probably around in this area somewhere, maybe in these trees. So let's see. I think they're considered mechanized. Yes, headquarters are mechanized, so they get the improved rate along the roads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, pretty much got them where we wanted them. Then they'll flip to their moved side. All right. Yeah, because then we've got the Cotentin headquarters there. We've got the SS headquarters there. Airborne headquarters there. The 47th Panzer headquarters there. And the 86th Division headquarters over there. Or Corps. Is that Corps? Yeah, 3 is Corps. All right. Continuing with movement. I think this headquarters is fine there in St. Lo. We've got a nice solid line all along here with Zach bonds. I think we're good there. This doesn't. Actually, we could. They're kind of weak though. They kind of need the, well, they'd 6, it'd be 9. If we moved into there, that would let them build up a 2-to-1 attack though. Although they've only got 15 there now. And these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I guess they could get around to help if needed. I think they're probably better off just staying back in the town. Up along here. Don't really need these guys here. But at the same time, where would we put them? Maybe pull them back to here, just to act as kind of a reserve wherever might be needed. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, just enough to get there. We're really lacking in armor up in this region, I'm noticing. Got this unit there, but that's about it. But the Allies also don't have much armor up in here. They've been bringing in mostly infantry. Well, they did bring a couple armor in last turn. Let's see. I think that's fine. We need to figure out what to do with this SS unit here. 17th SS. Where's the rest of the 17th SS? They're down here. One of them is. I think we were bringing them around up to help reinforce this area. Actually, can they make it up into here? Yeah, we've only got, yeah, they can fit in that stack if they can make it there. Let's see. We got this unit too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was another 17th SS unit we moved up that way. So I think our plan was to move those guys into there. And then I guess these guys can move into this spot. Actually, 4 and 3. I think those are 2 stacking points each. And that's not a silhouetted unit. Maybe I had those backwards from where they should have gone. Where's the stacking rules again? Let's see. Combat strength 1 or 2 is 1. Anything 3 or more is 2. And you can have 4 stacking points. Yeah, so that one's fully stacked. So actually, what we want to do if we can, this guy was up on this road. Whoops. Because these only have 2 stacking points. The strong points are free stacking units. So this guy could fit into there, and this guy could fit into there because we get a free silhouetted unit. So let's see if we can get him there. 1. I guess 2. Nope, you'd have to stop there. 1. 1 2/3. 2 2/3, 3 2/3. There we go. That gives them some armor, and then these guys can go 1, 2, 3, and I think minor unbridged river hexes are fine, or hex sides are fine. Extra movement point for mechanized units, but you don't have to start next to them. So they would need an extra movement point. So where were they at? Here, I think, or here. Yeah, because it was 1 to get to here. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Perfect. Okay, that gives them a +1 troop quality there too, which is nice. That way those airborne can't give them a shift. All right, and then nothing in the shareboard. Well, this guy could technically move, but I don't think we want him to at this point. I mean, that is a pretty nice anti-tank value compared to this guy that's only 1. But they don't get a tank shift against strong point anyway. Yeah, we'll just leave them in there for now. I think that's going to be it for German movement. Didn't end up needing any of the truck or the strap move markers. All right, so let's get these guys all straightened up. And see if there are any German attacks that we want to conduct. Yeah. Come on. All right. So yeah, next is the German combat phase. because we could have put some units in reserve, but I don't think we're planning on making any breakthroughs as the Germans here. I don't know if there's really any good spot to try and attack. I mean, that's 10 plus the town is 14. Oh no, whoa, that's fine, we still got 10 in there. I didn't realize that other unit was so weak. Yeah, I just don't see any good counterattack. Well, guess we could go after this guy all by his lonesome there. Be 6. Ooh, we're going across a river though. He doesn't get any DCBs because he's a silhouetted unit. So it'd be 6 on 2. This one can't attack. Parenthesized attack values can't attack. Can't participate in an attack. It would be 3-to-1 odds, but then I think attacking across a minor river, attacker is halved. So it'd be 3 to 2, which is only 1-to-1. But we could throw in some artillery to make it 2-to-1. So that's a possibility there. Everything else up here looks pretty uninviting. Yeah, so let's just do that one attack there. So it's going to be 1-to-1. We'll spend, I don't know, I guess we'll use Fortress Cherbourg at this point. Either of them can be used anywhere since they haven't cut off the peninsula yet. Well, with the exception that Cotentin can only use Fortress Cherbourg supply. So actually with that in mind, perhaps we should spend this one. Since this can be used anywhere, this one can be used anywhere except there. So that makes more sense. So that'll make it 2-to-1. 2-to-1. Roll a 4, which is a DR. So actually wasn't. There was a slim chance if we'd have rolled a 6, we could have eliminated them, but they'll just retreat back to this town. They can stop because it's bocage and because it's a town. They'll retreat back to there and become disrupted. And we will definitely not advance. I think technically, even though this is in a Zachbond hex, since we attacked a unit that was occupying that hex, I believe we're allowed to advance into there. But we certainly do not want to. Yeah, I just confirmed that you can advance into a Zachbond hex if it's the defender's vacated hex. All right, that's it for the combat then for the Germans. No reserve movement, no reserve combat. German recovery phase. We remove any disrupted markers from German units. So this can come off. There's one underneath here that can come off. This one way over here. And I don't think we had anyone disrupted up there. See what else. If I'm missing anything. Just want to make sure, since it's been a while since I played this, make sure I don't miss anything here. Remove all replacement and disruption markers from German units. Oh, right. Replacement. Oh. Shoot, we forgot to spend our replacements now that they mentioned that. We had an infantry replacement that we could have used. Whatever unit got the replacement wouldn't be able to attack. Actually, anyone in that stack wouldn't have been able to attack, so we couldn't assign it here. But I don't think it can take any anyway. So let's see, infantry replacement, where can we use that? That's an armor unit. Those are all armor units. Armor. There's an infantry unit that could have taken it. That's an armor unit. So we could potentially do it here. And then here, taking a hit. No, they're all on their front side. Oops. That's an armor unit. Armor unit. There's some more 17 SS. The rest of them are way up over here now. That's an armor unit. Ooh, this one. That could take one. And up here. That's a possibility. Bring them up to a 4. Actually, let's do this one. I think that's a potential place where they might. So he would have gotten a reinforcement marker, which basically just means none of the units in this stack could attack. But, and I think, well, was he the only? No, there's another infantry unit there anyway. So I don't think there's any restriction on units that took replacements starting construction of an IP, but even if so, the other one were there. All right, so that will be their replacement. And yeah, that should have happened. Where do they get spent? Oh, German replacement phase. Yeah, we kind of skipped over that. The beginning of the turn was the replacement phase, so we should have done it then, before any movement. Yeah, units with a replacement marker. Can move a maximum of 1 hex, may not attack or be placed in reserve. Those are the only restrictions. So, alrighty. So that would have gotten removed there as well during the recovery phase. Then we go to our supply phase. Check supply. Don't think we have any supply issues. We've got pretty much unbroken line all the way along here. They can all trace back this way or up that way. Other than this guy, which is obviously still out of supply, but unless we put a unit next to them, we're not going to have to roll for attrition, so which would be next, but we got none. And then any German IPs that have been abandoned would be removed, but we don't have any of those either. Then it goes to the Allied player turn. So basically all the same stuff, but now for the Allies, starting with the replacement phase. We've got 1 infantry replacement for each side. So I'm going to give a think about where those might be best utilized, and then we'll continue from there. All right, for our Allied replacements, I only found 1 U.S. infantry unit that could take a replacement, and that's this one here. We'll go ahead and flip him over and get him a replacement marker. Oops. So they can only move 1 hex, and no one that is stacked with them may participate in combat. On the Commonwealth side, there was a few options, but I think what I'm going to do, over here we've got 2 brigades from the 50th Division that have taken losses. So I think I want to boost that up. I was contemplating, I think there was another division over here that had 2 losses as well. Maybe the 43rd. No, wasn't them. There's another division over here that had 2 losses, but I think so as I'm looking now, the way the Germans have reinforced over here, and plus with all this nasty terrain we're going to have to try to go through, rather than focus on trying to break through over here and encircle, I think we're going to try to keep pushing down this way and threaten Khan from the west side over here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this one since he's a little further back and probably won't be, I mean, could be, but he'd be the better choice, I think, to not participate in a combat this go round. We've still got 9 factors here from this division if we wanted to, and we can get some armor in there on them as well if we wanted to try and attack here. So we'll go ahead and give it to that guy. And he gets a replacement marker as well. So we'll tick those replacements down. All right, they each have 2 supply points available. And as I mentioned before, I need to remember that I can actually spend 2 on a single for a single headquarters to provide 2 shifts instead of only 1. So if we got some place that we really want to hit hard, we could potentially get 4 shifts, 1 from air, 1 from naval, and then 2 from the artillery, plus any potential tank or troop quality shift that we might be able to garner as well. All right, so that's it for replacements. That's going to take us to, we're going to run the Allied player turn, so replace German with Allied here. Allied movement phase. And this is when we will get our reinforcements. So since it's not a storm turn, we get 6 reinforcement points for both for each of the Allies and the Commonwealth. But then remember that no more than, I think it's 4 replacement points can come in through the same beach. Where we got replacements? Or not replacements, sorry, reinforcements. Landing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, 6 US and 6 CW reinforcement points. No more than 4 RPs may be brought in through each beach. Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword. And for this restriction only, the British Mulberry is considered to be part of Gold Beach. So we can bring those in through there as well. All right, so let's see what we want to spend our points on. And remember, we could potentially spend, I think it's 2 to get an additional supply point as well. But at this point, I think we want to focus on getting more units out there. I think for the British, we definitely need to get some more armor out there. So I'm thinking, let's see, we already brought this guy in last time. So where did he go? I don't know if it was last time, but sometime in the past. That's part of the 7th Division. Where did he end up going? Kind of need to get this SS brigade out of there too, I think. If we're not planning on doing any attacks against Khan, he's kind of being wasted there. Where did that unit get to? Is this it under here? Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay. That's motorized infantry. Yeah, so we could bring some more of that division on. So probably this and this. Bring the rest of that division in. Let's see where we want them to go. Yeah, we're kind of short. Of course, we're going to swing some of this armor, I think, away from Khan to help out over here. So probably this is our big hitter here. Let's bring him in through Gold, I think. Get him down into this area. And then let's just leave him there for right now until we decide where we're going to move everybody. And then we'll probably want to bring this guy in through Juneau then. All right, and for the U.S., I think we're pretty good. We've got just about all of our big armored divisions out. We should start getting some more infantry in. Let's think about where we want them to go as well. We really need to make something happen over here. We've been kind of stymied here. Once we got to the river there. Well, that reminds me, I forgot to mention about the historical note here for June 14th, which is turn 9. The 9th Division passes through 90th Division to cut the peninsula. At first, I thought that meant they actually cut the peninsula that day. I was like, wow, I'm really far behind. But no, that doesn't actually happen until June 17th. I think it's just saying that the 9th Division, which is these guys, passed the 90th, which I haven't even brought the 90th in yet, on their way to cut the peninsula. So yeah, that's what happened here on this date in history. But yeah, we're kind of, I don't know, we got everybody kind of spread out here too, division-wise, unfortunately. We got 2nd Armored with some airborne up here. Some 4th Division there. Where's the rest of 4th Division? There's 9th. And this guy was with 9th as well, so they got really split up. Oh, the rest of 4th Division's down here. Yeah, so I think maybe we get some more infantry over there at Utah. I guess we'll start bringing in the, I'm just kind of working my way here from top to bottom without regard to who historically came in when, since I don't know that information. We'll bring the 117th Regiment of the 30th Infantry Division in there through Utah. And then that leaves us, that's 3 points. So our other 3, I guess we'll bring, let's go with this one, the 2nd ID. And we're going to start bringing them in through Omaha, I think. Alrighty. So that's our reinforcements. Now for movement. Let's start over here in the British sector. So I was looking at this a little bit while I was off camera, and I think we want to try to hit this hex here. They only got 6 factors in there, and they're in the clear. We need to get over here, though, so we're not attacking across the river. So, but we can't, right, Zachbond. So yeah, they're going to be halved, unfortunately. But even with that, that's 3, 6, 7, 8 against 6, so it'd be 1 to 1. No armor shift because they're equal. So do you get armor shift across minor rivers? Yes, you can. Not in this case. So yeah, some air and some, I mean, we could do a, oh, while we're thinking of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we need to get these headquarters moving up. I keep forgetting to do that, or I forgot to do that several turns early on. So they're not quite up as far as they should be. Yeah, they could help out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but so could they. So I'm wondering if maybe we just move this one a few hexes to get him caught up, since he can't really help out with anything down here. And this one can reach anything we need over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, this town would probably be a good place to sit him in. So I think he was here, right? So you can go 1, 2, 3, get into there. And he's moved more than one hex. All right, so I think we want to fill in here to prevent them from advancing up into there if they were thinking about doing that. It would probably make sense, whoops, for these guys to swing around up into this hex. Do that there. Kind of be nice to try to force these guys back. Get rid of that entrenching marker, but I don't know. It's 8. Well, I mean, they've got at least 10, so it's probably 18. They get. They're just in, what was that, rough, mixed. So they get 2 DCB for that. So 2, 6, 8, 10, 15. So we have to get at least 15 to get up to 1-to-1. Oh, 16. We do have Canadians there. They could be full strength. They can't attack. Maybe we get a +1 from them, though. 2. Yeah, because we could attach them. Actually, we could attach them. Yeah, that'd give us way more than 18 if we wanted to do that. And let's slide these guys over here. Okay. Where is the rest of the 51st? Up here. I think we definitely want these guys to move into the airport here, the airfield. guess technically they don't need to since we have a Zoc bond there. I wanted to put, so we're planning on attacking here. If we could potentially exploit that, we'd want to have someone back here in reserve. So they'd have to stop when they enter these Zocs. Their counterpart is right there. Yeah, let's go ahead and move them in there. I think these guys we just want to kind of squeeze up into here. And then let's see. This armor, I think we want to swing around. Let's get this guy. It's kind of a mixed unit there. We want to get this unit underneath here moved out of that hex. They're part of this division. Maybe we want to take a stab at that one there. We want to come after these guys. I think maybe here. Where's the rest of that unit? So they're down here. Yeah, so why don't we move this into here. Move them into there. And we'll move this armor around to stack up with them. This armor. Them into there. Move this armor around. Let's see. Well, it's 2 along there, 1 to leave the Zoc, so that's, or it's 1 to go those 2 spaces, I mean. So that would be 2 with the leaving the Zoc. 3, 4. Yeah, they can get into there. Okay, this one. see, motorized, do they get any kind of road benefit? No, it doesn't look like they do. They're just treated as mechanized for movement. Oh yeah, they're mechanized, so I guess they would get yeah, two for one over secondary roads, 3 for 1 over. Yeah, that's right. All units get road benefits. Thinking maybe bringing the excuse me, bringing them down over this way. As we start pushing back here, we're going to need some more to put pressure here, I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 5.5. Guess we could get them into there if we wanted to, because I think they can go one hex past the boundary line. But we're probably going to want to move these guys up into here, so maybe there. That goes Akbond. Okay, then we got our reinforcements. Which I think they just get tactical movement when they come in. Yep, tactical movement with the first with the landing hex counting as the first hex. And the combat strength is halved. You can only conduct a limited advance. I don't think they're going to be getting close enough to attack anybody. All right, so we'll just go boom boom with them, and boom boom with them. Get them on that road. All right, so then I'm not going to bother putting a regroup marker on them since they're not going to be attacking anything. I think that's good for my... I don't really know what to do with this guy. He's just for defense, really. I'll just leave him there for the time being. All right. Oh, yes. And I do have the 3 allied strat move markers if I do want to use that for anything. All right. Here, I think we go to there. I think we swing this tank unit around. We do have this one here, though. Not going to be any use to us this turn, though. 6. Ooh. So the silhouetted unit doesn't get to count his strength for how many DCBs this guy gets, so he's only getting 2. So that's only an 8 stack there. If we could get 16 factors, it's 14. We would need, I mean, that guy would have done it, unfortunately, but now he's disrupted. Could swing this guy down. And then move that onto there. So that'd be 2 woods. Does that do anything? Yeah, two movement points into the woods since we're not following a road. That's actually 3. And there would also be an extra to cross the river, 4, 5. But then we can use the road movement, 6. Perfect. This guy will just shift to there. Oops. Disrupted units, I think, can only move 1 hex, but we'll just leave them where it's at. I think we're good along here. Do we want to move this up any further? Yeah, let's go ahead and inch forward another hex. Well, we got this big boy too that can come in and play. Can we get him into that? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the other 3rd armored units? Right there. And there. It's okay. Alrighty. We're going to smack this one. 4, 6, 10, 11, I think. Bocage is only 3, so that's 10 right there exactly. By the same token, if we hit here and we're able to push them back, that starts to leave this guy in a bit of an exposed position there. Maybe we actually have this guy go here. I mean, even if we do push him back, he's only going to have to go there, so we're not really going to be able to put a lot in there, but thinking too, do we really want this guy here? He'd be vulnerable to an attack. But if we put him here, then they're able to get into that hex. So, yeah, that's fine. Let's keep them there. All right. Our reinforcements, we'll go 1, 2, and we haven't gotten over there yet. Yeah, we'll just put him there on that road. Okay, around this away. We put them in there. Move these guys up to here. Problem here is these guys are halved, attacking out of a flooded hex. I really need to get this guy unwedged. Just don't have much here to work with, unfortunately. So we got these two armor units that came in last turn. Where do we want them to go? Probably send one up here and one here. Nudge this forward one. This guy will come into here. Again, we don't need a regroup marker because he's not next to anybody. Man, oh man, I was hoping to be able to punch through up here, but they really boosted this thing up. 2, 4, 6. 3 from the DCB, or from the terrain. Yep, it's a 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, they're at 10. Well, we got way more than 10, so just gotta figure out where we're gonna hit them, I think. All right, I think that's it for Allied movement. Get everybody straightened back up. Or make them even more crooked. Alrighty. For attacks. We were talking about here for sure. I don't know that it's 2 to 1. I'm just putting a die on it for now. I think we wanted to hit this one potentially. We were talking about maybe hitting this to keep them from finishing that improved position. And then we wanted to hit here. Oops. I really need to try to punch through up here somewhere. this we go for, because that's still in the naval bombardment zone too, so we can get our naval support for that one. All right, let's start with that. So we got, looks like 3 British attacks here that we want to do for Commonwealth. Let's start over here, see what we got. Pretty sure this is at least 10. 4. They've got a +1 unit, so we're not getting any troop quality. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the mixed provides 1, right? Or no, 2. So they're at 11. So all we really need to do is get to 10. We've got well more than that. Who do we want to make our main assault force? I guess the Canadians. We're not going to get troop quality, so there's no sense including them. Yeah, if we want the... Yeah, because that's just mixed terrain. If we want the armor shift, they'll have to be attached to the map. So, yeah, we'll make the 3rd Canadian Division the main assault force. So 6, 12, 13. Yeah, we got way more than 10. So it's going to be 1-to-1, 2-to-1 with the armor shift. Right, they've got no armor here. Oh, no, they do have armor. Never mind. Did I count them in there? I don't think I did. Yeah, they've got a bunch. So no armor shift either. So it's just 1-to-1. We got 1 air, 2 artillery. I think we want to use our air probably on this one. This is the one we really want to succeed. They're outside of the naval bombardment zone, so I think we just spend an artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. We'll spend a supply point to get an artillery shift. Make it 2-to-1. So 2-to-1. Oh, come on. We'll get a 2. 2-to-1, 2 is an A1DR. So since the tank it didn't provide a shift, so we don't have to take it on the tank. So we'll flip one of these. Come on. And then they will have to do either retreat 2 hexes or do a determined defense. And it would be in the determined defense and other. They need a 5 or a 6. We could use an artillery shift. Actually, lead units TQ. Actually, they have that high quality troop in there too. They could make them the lead unit. So they'd get a +1 for that. We could give them a +1 by spending their last supply point. Could use the con artillery. Well, actually, they could do it themselves. Their headquarters. So yeah, let's do that. We'll make the +1 unit the lead unit, so they get +1 die roll modifier for that. We will spend a supply point for artillery, defensive artillery support. So So they're going to get a +2. Oh yeah. So they get 7. Sorry, over here, which is an AL. So they hold and we lose another step. Any one attacking unit, attacker's choice, and not necessarily from the MAF, loses 1 step. So we get to pick it, and it doesn't have to be from the MAF, which is good because I don't think I want to spend another, burn another Canadian unit. Those replacements are hard to come by. They didn't participate, so I don't think we can take it on them. We could knock these guys down to cadre, I guess. Just take it on them. Problem there is they're only take them down to, oh, they are in a town. Okay, they're fine. I was going to say it's going to take them down below 10, I think, but no, it won't. Yeah, we'll just take it on these guys. That was not so great. They managed to hold there, and they'll get to get their improved position next turn. All right, over here, this is our big one. They've got 6 with no DCB, but then we're halved for attacking across the river. So 3, 6, 7, 8. So it's 1 to 1. No armor shift because they're equal. We've got no high quality troops in there. But we are going to spend, that's outside the naval bombardment zone, unfortunately. We're going to spend this. And we're going to spend, wondering if we should have saved that and spent 2 on this one. So that gives us 2 shifts, so we're up to 3 to 1. Come on. So 3 to 1. Come on, roll big. Yes, 6. So 3 to 1, 6 is a D1. They get to choose the loss. And either way, they're losing 2 strength. The only thing is, this guy by himself can't benefit from DCBs. We need to get some infantry with that guy, or down in this area in general, I guess. These guys are considered to have infantry with them, though, so maybe we'll swing them around over here. Probably shouldn't have sent them up that way in hindsight. You know what? We're just going to get rid of this guy. He's taking up a stacking point. Okay. And then we have to retreat 2 hexes. Now I believe they are allowed to retreat across that major river since they're already next to it. Let me confirm that. Yeah, here we go. All units, including mechanized, may retreat across a major river if they start their retreat adjacent to that river hex. And in fact, they can so they are allowed to retreat across that as long as it's their first move. Yeah, and they can't stop it because this is clear, so they got to go the full 2 hexes. So we'll retreat them back to here. And then they get a disruption marker. And then for our advance, probably should have put somebody here in reserve. The problem is if we advance all the way up to there, they're kind of hanging out to dry there. Here is a safe advance. That puts that unit in quite a bit of, or that stack in quite a bit of jeopardy there. We still got Zoc bonds then. Yeah, I should have set that up to capitalize on that better, I think. Maybe move these guys over to here and put, I think as long as they only move, what, like 1 or 2 hexes, you can put a reserve movement marker on them. No, it can only expend 1 movement point. But yeah, we could have they could have moved to here and then been placed in reserve. That would allow them to at least fill in here. We could have maybe advanced them a little further, or at least over to here. Put more pressure on Khan. Unfortunately, now they're going to be able to get back across that river. Oh well. Okay, here. So it looks like we're out of shifts. So this is going to be a 1-to-1. Do we want to try this? Well, they've got no, yeah, they're out of reach of these guys for defensive support. I guess I could have had these guys try to do a determined defense there. They could have given them defensive support, but in the clear, yeah, at best they would have gotten, I guess with the +1 they could have theoretically gotten an AL result. But yeah, it's all right. Yeah, let's go ahead and try it. So we got 2, 4, 6, 10 with the DCB, 12. So yeah, best we can do is 1-to-1. We've definitely got that. Actually 13, I guess, because these guys are in there. For main assault force, we're not going to get a tank shift anyway. So we might as well make these guys the main assault force. Where's their other unit? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, so that's 18 right there between those three. We'll just have these 2 stacks participate, I guess. So it's going to be a 1-to-1. Straight roll. Three. Whoops. 1-to-1. 3 is an A1DR. So our loss has to come from the MAF. They will attempt a determined defense. They're in a town, which is other. So we need a 5 or a 6. Oh, they got the 5. So they lose a step, but they hold. Oh, I had to declare a lead unit, right. Actually, yeah, I'll make one of these guys a lead unit. So they got a +1 off of that. So that's actually a 6, which is an exchange. So the lead unit loses a step. Yep, they're eliminated. And then we lose a step and they get to pick it. So I think they would probably take this guy down to cadre then. Okay, well that was a series of bad events there for the British. Here. All right, so let's think this through. We're just got the 2 attacks. That one up there has naval. And we could throw in 2 shifts from the artillery and the air if we wanted to. So that would go to, and I think they have, troop quality as well. No, they've got a +1 unit in there. Okay. All right, so we're starting at 1-to-1. We could go 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, or 5-to-1. either way, there's two results that we would lose something on. 5-1, we have a chance of doing a D2 result, A1 D2, which would be pretty awesome. No determined defense possible. And you know what? Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do this one first. Excuse me. And so we're starting at 1-1 because they've got well over 10 in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus the bocage gives 4, I think. 3. Towns are 4. Yeah, plus the 3 from this. So they've got well over 10. And we've got at least 10. Because just these two together, that'll be our main assault force. We could attach the airborne as well, but we don't really need their shift, so I think we'll leave them out of the main assault force just in case. They'll still participate though. So we got 11 plus half of them is 2. So it's starting at 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, with support coming from here. So 5-1. We're hoping for a 6. Oh, so close. 5-1, 5 is a D1. So they will lose this poor quality unit, I think. Yeah, whoops. Either way, might as well keep the bicycle unit around, I guess. Yeah, he was already on his reduced side. And then they can attempt a determined defense. They're in a strong point. I can make this guy their lead unit, so they get a +1 modifier. Pretty good chance they'll be able to hold here. 3 becomes a 4. Exchange. Okay. So their lead unit takes a hit. And then they get to pick one from us. And I think they'll pick the airborne. That's why I was contemplating leaving them out of it completely for that exact reason, but I didn't. So, oh well. Man, the Germans are on point with these determined defenses here. All right. Well, that just leaves this one here, which is going to have no shifts available. Sure you don't get. I thought I might have forgotten a left shift in addition to being halved for this attack over here across the minor river, but that's only across major rivers and flooded hex sides and causeways. So in this case, these guys will all be halved. So we might as well We'll make the 1st Infantry Division the main assault force, and we'll attach this unit to it, so he's full strength. So yeah, we've got 7, 12, 13, and then both of those halves, which are 4 each. So we got our max allowed there, and then these guys are 10, I believe we figured out. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it's 1 to 1. Yeah, worry about that later. Let's roll this. 3. 1 to 1, 3. A1DR. Wow, they're really getting a lot of A1s on us here. So a unit in the MAF, yeah, come on, has to take a loss. I think we'll take it on these guys. And then DR, I can try a determined defense. They'd get a +1 from that unit. Do we want to risk them flipping? Yeah, why not? We've had good luck so far, right? They have. So +1, we're in other. We need a 5 or a 6 to hold. No, their luck ran out. So 1, even up to 2. They do not hold. So they will have to retreat, but they can do a 1-hex retreat because it's into Bocage, so they're just going to go to here. Come on. My tweezer game is off today. And they are disrupted. And we can advance. I think we just moved some stuff into there, right? Or into here. No, we can't. That's a Zokbon, so we can't advance into there because it's not the defender's vacated hex. I think we got to leave these guys here. That would leave too big of a gap there. All right. That's that. And that completes the Allied combat phase. No reserve movement, no reserve combat. Recovery phase. Our disrupted marker comes off. Our replacement markers come off here. And where was our other one at? Back here, right? Then we have supply. No one is in any supply trouble. We've got the only one that potentially would be this guy, but he just goes one hex through a Zok, which is fine, and then he's on a road. Yeah, everyone else is good. All right. So then we go to the end phase. We don't have any airborne withdrawals that we want to do. No one has achieved their automatic victory condition, so that will put us to turn 10. I keep forgetting to flip this for the different sides. So actually it'll be the German turn next on turn 10. All right, that's going to do it for turn 9 of Normandy 44. Thanks everyone for watching. Apologize for the extremely long break there between episodes, but hopefully we're back on track to get this thing knocked out here in the next couple months, hopefully. We got, if it goes the distance, we just finished 9, so we've got 13 turns to go. But we'll see what happens. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel to get notified when I post new videos, which hopefully will be happening now, whereas it hadn't there for quite a while. And again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.